Welcome back to our live video cryptocurrency trading series. And today we're talking about SegWit and two of the largest exchanges in the world upgrading to SegWit to turbocharge their Bitcoin transactions. So that's in the news today. First, looking at the markets overall, you can see these are the top six cryptocurrencies. A little bit of a bounce today. Okay, Litecoin in red, Ethereum in pink, Bitcoin in purple, Bitcoin Cash in green, and Ripple in blue, and Cardano in yellow. So a little bit of a bounce today, nothing too exciting. Bitcoin up 2.3%, Ethereum up almost 5%, Ripple up 5%. So the recovery is from that, decimation, from that bloodbath that was between, say, Christmas and the lows of February 6th here. It's not a very strong recovery so far, so we're just kind of watching it and see what happens. But in the news today, SegWit adoption by exchanges, two of the top 10, covering about 10% of Bitcoin transactions worldwide. And we're talking about Coinbase, based in San Francisco, which is the most user-friendly on-ramp for first-time cryptocurrency traders and investors. Coinbase has focused on ease of use, and they account for 17% of all US dollar Bitcoin trading volume. And the other exchange is Bitfinex, which is ranked fourth globally by trading volume, based in Hong Kong. Both of them announced simultaneously they will start supporting the SegWit protocol, and that is the segregated witness protocol, which is an algorithm that frees up space on the blockchain, making transactions quicker and cheaper. So, Bitcoin speed of transaction and cost, fees have always been an issue. And during the height of that pre-Christmas mania, Bitcoin fees climbed as high as $30 to $40, which is ridiculous. You're not going to buy a Starbucks, Frappuccino with a $40 transaction fee. So you can look at this is the mempool backlog, and you can see going back to January, it was pretty significant for Bitcoin, more than 50,000 transactions. And let's just look a little bit further back. Go to the 3-month chart. It was over 250,000 transactions during that pre-Christmas. Yeah, here it is. During that pre-Christmas frenzy, that pre-Christmas mania. And the color code here is transaction fees. So miners will pick up transactions and process them, obviously based on fees. So the higher, more incentive, higher fees will get processed quicker. So if you knock out, you can, on this chart, you can knock out the lower fee transactions, and you can see that the higher fee, as you go higher and higher, there are fewer and fewer transactions in the backlog, which means that transaction fees were very high. But they've come down significantly now. And if we go back to the exchanges, SegWit adoption is good for Bitcoin. Okay, it may not be the ultimate solution for its slow speed, but it's a workaround at least for these scaling woes that Bitcoin has always suffered from and have caused a lot of discord in the Bitcoin community. So what is SegWit? Well, basically it takes the digital signature off the blockchain and keeps digital signatures in a separate side chain. So this is basically Bitcoin, how it works without SegWit, and that is the digital signature of each transaction that sends the transaction from one user to the next is stored on the blockchain. And remember that a Bitcoin is nothing more than a chain of digital signatures. That's important to remember. You can't a Bitcoin is not nothing is not tangible. You can't hold it in your hand. You can't keep it in your pocket. You can't store it in a safe. What it is a chain of digital signatures, and the way that you prove that you own a Bitcoin is that you hold the private key that unlocks the public key at the end of that chain of digital signatures, signing over that coin to each owner in succession. So imagine like $100 bill that had the signature and the fingerprint of each person who had ever held it on that $100 bill. That's what a Bitcoin is. It's a chain of digital signatures, but it has no, tangible physical presence in the actual world. It's just a digital chain of signatures. Now, your private key, it's kind of like having a fingerprint that activates this key to interlock with the public key that those bitcoins were sent to, and that's how you prove ownership of a Bitcoin, which is really ownership of a chain of transactions. So the problem is time. Okay, Bitcoin is mined, and it takes time to mine. The reason it takes time to mine is because each miner, takes these unconfirmed transactions. So when a transaction is first broadcast to the network, it's unconfirmed. Okay, the original owner signs it over to the new owner and sends it to their public address, and that transaction is sent out to the network, to the entire network. But until it's picked up by a miner and cryptographically hashed into a block that is grouped into a bundle of transactions, sealed and locked into place in the blockchain using a cryptographic math, which makes it nearly impossible to hack, alter, or otherwise corrupt. Before that happens, those transactions are sitting out there unconfirmed, and that's what we saw in the mempool, which is these are unconfirmed. All these are unconfirmed transactions, waiting for miners to pick them up and process them and confirm them. So that takes time, and it also takes block space. So when digital signatures occupy about 65% of the block space on the blockchain, yet they can be separated from transaction data and maintained on a side chain without compromising the integrity or the security of the actual blockchain. So here is the blockchain with the signatures on the chain, and here is the blockchain with the signatures on a side chain. So the SegWit protocol frees up space on the blockchain, allowing transactions to be cheaper and faster, essentially increasing the size of block size, block space availability. Okay, so the support for SegWit was announced by both those exchanges just this week, and that going back to last year, you'll remember that it was this frustration and discord over the delays and fees that led to the fork of Bitcoin Cash last August. That has a block size of 8 times that of Bitcoin. It's an 8 megabyte block size compared to Bitcoin's 1 megabyte block size. So it can process 60 transactions per second compared to Bitcoin's about 7 transactions per second. And when Bitcoin gets a significant backlog, it processes even fewer than that. So that was the fork of Bitcoin Cash. And these alternative crypto assets like Dash and Bitcoin Cash are notorious for criticizing Bitcoin for its slow speed and high fees. And they often backhandedly compliment it as a store of value, with the unmistakable subtext that it's not practical to use Bitcoin as a medium of exchange. So this is good for Bitcoin. SegWit adoption by two of the world's largest exchanges, Coinbase, which accounts for 10% of worldwide trading, and Hong Kong-based Bitfinex. And hopefully this video has given you some useful information that you can put to use to make better, more informed more research based cryptocurrency investment decisions. Ciao for now.